Good evening, Sword Family. Doing a little special thing here tonight. Something I've never done on camera before. Very similar to my journal making video. I'm going to show you the process of doing a calligraphy painting for my very awesome friend Trey Bachman. Everything you see on the table here, I will be using in some manner or another. Obviously, we have our ink sticks here. This is the old-fashioned way of doing things. I'm not going to go out and buy just bottled ink. I want to grind my own ink. And that's what you do with these. And to do that, you obviously need an ink stone. Now, these are all of the colors of ink that I currently have. We have kind of a reddish orange, black, obviously, blue, a lighter blue, white. I've never actually used white ink before. I might actually want to, test that on something. I think I would need a darker color of paper to do that with. We have green, and we have the one I'm going to be using tonight, which is kind of a golden yellow. So we're going to keep that. The rest of these are going to come sit over here. This is your brush rest for when you're finished with the painting or when you're taking a break for something. Now this is called a chop. This is basically your signature on all of your calligraphy, but I don't know if you can see that. It's blank. I don't have a chop carved with my name on it. So I almost kind of use this as a weight to keep the paper down. And this is the ink for the chop. Stick the chop in this, press it on your paper, and now you've signed it. I have this old chop, but I don't know if you can tell, but it's quite a bit bigger than the ink pad, so I can't actually fit this on here. So I'm going to have to sign this the same way I did my journals, with a wax seal. This is an old calligraphy set that the brushes they fell apart. They were that old and didn't really get used all that much. So I got new brushes. So now that that is done, we'll move that out of the way so that we actually have a surface to work with. And so you're not just listening to me grind ink for however long it takes to get it to the proper consistency. I'm going to play a very special song that was made just for me by my awesome friend, Dan Hollifield, who you can find at indieseated.org about Dan Hollifield. A little bit of music. Hopefully you can hear that. So this is the paper we're going to be using. This is a hunter green vellum paper. But because I don't want the ink to bleed through onto my table, I'm going to use a piece of cardstock as a backing. Then we use the chop to hopefully hold the paper down. I'm going to talk a little bit about the brushes while I'm grinding. So, this is a very small bowl of water, with a tiny little spoon in it. We're going to take our little spoon, a tiny little bit of water, put water directly onto our ink stem. We take our stick, start making circles. And the ink and the water are going to mix together to make our ink. Kind of see the color starting to come through. But it is far too thin for what we're going to be doing. Usually when you're doing things like this, while you're grinding your ink, it's kind of a form of meditation. Just think about, don't think. Just listen to the sound of the ink spelling. I have an extra piece of vellum paper here, so that when it starts getting thick enough, I can test it on the vellum to make sure that it's thick enough for the paper. That banner can probably come down now. Now you can really start to see the color of the ink come through. So, we're going to get our brushes. I have lots of different sizes of brushes. The thicker the brush, that's going to be the thicker stroke for your calligraphy. And thinner brushes are going to make thinner strokes. I don't want to have too thick, so we need to find the right brush for what I'm doing, and I've forgotten a very important part of the process, and that is soaking your brush. These brushes are horsehair they're not being used, they get stiff. Before you can actually use your brush, you have to soak them. I have this is my calligraphy cup. That's all it's used for. Is just for soaking my brush. So, get some water. And we pick out our brush. I added a little bit more water to the ink stuff. It's looking a little thick for what I had in mind. What brush will we use? I think we're going to use this one. This one right here. Not going to be terribly thick, but it also won't be too thin. We just stick that right in the water while we finish up our ink. Take the rest of our brushes, move them off side, so we can finish our calligraphy. You don't want your ink to be too thin. You also don't want it to be too thick. And a good rule of thumb, when you can start to see the ink stone while you're grinding, you're getting to a good taste. So, just set our ink stone down. Get the brush nice and pliable. You have to be able to actually use your brush. Try and get some of the excess water off. And take more ink onto our test piece of paper. And just make a little dot. You can see the ink. You can kind of see the ink. Ink isn't running. It's staying in place. But it still looks a little thin. So, back to grinding. More grinding. This is by far the most time-consuming part of the process. And you want to make sure you have enough ink for your project, your painting, your whatever you're doing. If you don't, you're just going to end up having to grind more in the middle of doing things. Here's another thing. If you're doing calligraphy, you don't want to hold it as like you would hold a pen. You can, but That's not the traditional way of doing it. Traditional way, taking 2 fingers and your thumb on either side, holding your brush perfectly straight. That way, you can always see what you're drawing, and you're not gonna like smear it with your hand or something. So now let's try again. See if we have a good thickness on our test piece. You see that line? That's a good line. I think we're ready to actually try and paint our actual piece now. Hopefully I have enough ink, because this is going to be a fairly good size painting. I hope, since I'm right-handed, and I'll be doing over here, you'll actually be able to see what I'm doing. So, since we're making this for Trey, and I call all of you my sword family. So the character we're going to be painting for her is Sword Sister, which is Jiàn Jiě. Jiàn meaning sword, and Jiě meaning sister. So, get our ink, more brush, and first we write the character for sword. Do this a bit closer if we can, and we write the character for sword, which looks like this. Might need more ink. Yeah, I think we're going to need more ink. Yeah, we're going to need more ink. This is why I've never done this on camera before. Because this is not easy for me to do. On camera. Before this, there's only been 2 pieces of calligraphy I've ever done for any one single person. One is Nick Cocker, who has a piece that I did 3 or 4 years ago. And the other one is my friend Dawn. Doing this in front of other people We're just doing this and I'm holding the brush wrong again. Letting people see the process of me doing this. Incredibly nerve-wracking for me. I essentially retired my calligraphy brushes many, many years ago. Because I did not think that I was good enough. People would want to see my calligraphy. And it's kind of part of that whole hustle culture of, you know, your skills have to be marketable. It has to be something that you can make money off of. I didn't see any point in my artwork because if you can't make money on it, then it's not considered useful. So for a very long time, I stopped doing any kind of calligraphy or any kind of artistic endeavor. I just didn't think that I was good enough. That is incredibly light. But that is the character for sword, or Jiàn. I am not entirely sure about this color. It is very, very light, very hard to see. Where's my flashlight? See if you can see it any better. Different, better light. Now again, we need more ink for the second character. Let's see if we... Now you can see it better, can't you? Yeah. That, bring the light source up a little bit, is the character for sword. So, next, we're going to do the character for sister, which, as I said, Jiàn Jiě. Which the root of that word actually means older sister. If you ever see or hear someone say Jiàn Jiě, that means older sister. Younger sister is Mei Mei. So I also could have done Jiàn Mei, but Jiàn Jiě is also fitting. So let's get that on there. This is going to be a much simpler character. Because character Jiàn is just this. And that. And there you go. So this is Jiàn Jiě, or Sword Sister. So we're done with that. Done with the ink. And now it is time to sign. And as I said, since I don't have a shop, I'll sign this the same way I sign my journals. That is with my custom wax seal stamp. Cut that. Since we have a very large assortment of wax now to choose from, we're going to pick don't really have a goal. We do have bronzish color. I don't think I want to do green because I don't want it to blend. If I do green, it's going to blend in with the paper. I do not want that. How about this? Almost a reddish brown character, reddish brown color. Since we want to make sure we have enough wax to actually cover the entire seal. We'll do 4 of them in the spoon. My candle go out. New candle? Might be time for a new candle. It's time for a new candle. Oh, that's lovely. Or not. Now we're just melting the wax for the seal. Check me out at indcd.org/about-bladed-thesis. I think our wax is about ready. Pour that out. Do a circle. Try and make sure we get as much coverage as possible. Take our seal. Press it and leave it. I'm going to make sure that wax gets nice and set. And there we go. Finished piece. There we go. Thank you for listening to me blather on for nearly an hour. You can check me out at patreon.com/BLADEDTH3SIS. You can check out my photographs at deviantart.com/bladedthesis. You can buy a shirt at bonfire.com/store/the-tea house. Thanks for watching. And Jiàn Jiě.